Good evening and welcome to the stream once again. It's time for part 18 of this continuous playthrough of Mathematic 2 on the Mac. Last night we did manage to get quite a bit done. We finished the rest of the character class quests and starting with the cleric's quest and then onwards towards the sorcerer's quest, and eventually we finished the last dungeon in the town of Atlantium. So now we finished the dungeons in every town. So the plan for tonight is to continue mapping the outside world. Our main quest at the moment is finding Lord Peabody's son Sherman, which is lost somewhere on the outside of the map, possibly in a cavern somewhere that we haven't located yet. And we need to rescue him and bring him back to Lord Peabody so that he will allow us to use the time machine, which again will allow us to reverse some of the things that have been happening in the world of Kron. So we are making slow progress towards eventually finishing the game. I would say we're maybe 2/3 done or so, and I think that we will eventually get to the point where we map the outside squares, and once we've done that, very few things remain except the castle dungeons, and that will probably be the pretty much the last points of the game outside of the elemental planes. So without further ado, let's jump into the game. I apologize, I still have this cold, so my voice is not perfect. I'll try not to cough too much into the microphone. When we left the game last night, we were pretty close to leveling up here to level 22 for multiple characters, so we will take regular breaks from the mapping and go back and see about leveling up. And we will also probably have to go back on a regular basis and get rid of some of the loot that we will find, because there will undoubtedly be encounters. Now we will enter the Desert of Dissolution and square E2, which is the last area in the game, the E area, and there are a total of 20 outside squares. We've mapped maybe at this point probably 7 of them, so there are 13 left. So we're roughly 1/3 done mapping the outside squares, and in many of the squares there is at least one dungeon to be found. So I will, similarly as to I've done in the towns, I will start by mapping all of the squares on the outside first, and once we're done with them, we will then return and map any caverns and any unusual things that we find. And as has been the case with everything so far, I will walk all the squares both facing north and south. That generally seems to be enough. Now we find ourselves in a battle here. Cast 2 of these dancing sword spells to start with, and then we will cast a turn on dead spell. These warbots look pretty dangerous to me. Perhaps we can cast another one. No, we cannot, but we can probably use the sandstorm spell. One of the nice things that happened on the last stream is that we found a way to give us plus 10 intellect, and that happened in the dungeon in Atlantium, and that has done wondrous things for our spell points. Particularly, it has helped Sir Hiram the Archer a lot. And but it has also given Magic the Spell the Sorcerer a great deal more. So she now has some 210 spell points, which is very welcome. We were starting to end up in situations where we were.
Yeah. Maybe I should host the show.
Okay. Hello, Sinlo. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the host, man. And we were starting to have issues where we were running out of spell points in the middle of a battle. Now we found ourselves in a battle with these hatchet men here. They are less than great. See if we can get rid of them before they have another turn against us. Okay. Now these suckers are dealing a real number on us here, but we might escape yet. We survive, but at some cost. We lost 2 members. So we will have to raise them from the dead. And we got unlucky this time around. Sir Lancelot did not recover. So these fights here in the desert appear to be very difficult. So potentially we might not map this square right now. We might leave it until later. Let's finish up the E2 area here and potentially the rocky area here at the top, and leave the bottom area in the desert to for another time. This appears to be slightly above our pay grade at the moment, so we will leave E2 for now, and instead we will focus on some of the areas around us here. We still have not mapped area C4, and we still have not mapped D3, so perhaps we will start here with D3. We'll have the game dictate exactly what order we do this in. We are fairly strong at this point, but not invincible. A Lich Lord holds a top scientist captive. Attempt to free him. See, where are we exactly? We are in X1, Y14. I will write this down here in our little notebook. And of course we will try to free him. And we get attacked by 2 monsters. A monster marcher and a lynch lord. We will cast disintegration here. It appears that the lynch lord is quite powerful. You got nowhere with that particular spell. I think we will start this fight here again. We didn't get very far. We need to see exactly what it is that we could potentially do. None of the spells were effective against the Lord, and he did a lot of damage to us. It's better to find something that works better before proceeding. I'll map this little area here again and then proceed with mapping this. Yes, we will. I will cast the Identify Monster spell here. He has 2000 hit points, an armor class of 40, and he is undead. Okay, that is interesting. Okay, and the only way to beat him is through the Holy Word spell. Okay, we should have done that to start with. And now it's a question of what to do with this guy here. And it's very dangerous, but not immune to any magic, it appears. So we can use spells to attack him as we want. Incinerate worked very well on him. He goes down, we receive 1,000,000 experience points. Having destroyed the Lich Lord, the celebrated Mr. Wizard thanks you profusely and offers himself for hire at the Hourglass Inn. Okay. I assume this is an excellent character that we are getting here. One of the things that we are obviously missing out on here, this is a tough battle, but what we really want to do here, we want to try our best to stay alive during the battle, since we're receiving this number of hit points, about 1,000,000 experience points for defeating these monsters. It matters quite a bit that none of the members of the party are in any way incapacitated while during the battle. So I'm hoping that with slightly more luck that we might be able to escape this without having anyone eradicated. We will see the Holy Word spell to get rid of the Lich Lords, and then we had good luck with the disintegration spell, and I will cast Power Cure on the sorcerer. because we also had good luck with the okay, we almost succeeded this time around. I will try it once again. It is seemingly possible to make it through this battle without losing any of the members of the party. I assume this is one of these battles that you only have once in the game. I'll try this one again here. We have the disintegration spell. I will cast that. And I will cast the incinerate spell on the Monster Masher. That worked very well last time. And I will power cure the other cleric to bring him back. Cast the fiery flail spell. And we got lucky this time around. And he goes down. And we will cast the Holy Word spell to get rid of the Rich Lord, and now we receive 781,250 experience points. And we free this this hireling here and receive a bit of golden gems. I'll finish exploring these 2 squares here before returning back to Middle Gate. I'm assuming that the hireling that we are being offered by the game here is fairly powerful at this stage. And we now finish these 2 squares here. I will head back to town. We received basically almost an entire level worth of experience points for this particular battle. Going to take a look here. I'm trying to remember in which town the Hourglass Inn is. But we will train for level 22 and take the added hit points that we will and as well as the added spell points that we will get. Now let's try to remember where the Hourglass Inn is. We will simply have to check the towns. Mr. Wizard is here. Mr. Wizard is a level 21 sorcerer. He's a very powerful sorcerer. He has 45 endurance, 60 speed, 50 luck. He has 90 intellect. He has almost 300 spell points. A full level 9 of a spell level. He's a linguist and a merchant. And this is has 220 hit points. This is definitely a badass. So if we need another sorcerer in the group, this is potentially a great one to add. So it's good to be aware of that if we need to do so, that we have a powerful ally waiting for us in the next town down. Now finish mapping this D3 square here. These leprechauns are dangerous beasts. They are immune mostly to magic, and they steal all of our money. We lost quite a bit of money in the dungeons in Atlantium, and I'm not about to go through this again. So we just saved, and after we gained this experience here, so I will simply revert to the save. The leprechaun stole some 800,000 gold from us, despite us hitting him with all that we had. And sometimes the game is generous to you, and you find it again when you beat him, but sometimes that does not happen. He stole some of the gold now. We'll have to see what happens, whether we find it again or not. We do not, so we'll try this one again. He's not even affected by the dancing sword, and he's already stolen all of our gold, so and we couldn't find it back, so just now wondering what we could potentially use to take him down so that this does not happen. One potential way of doing this is simply transferring some of the gold. It does seem like some characters are more vulnerable to this than others, so let us do that now. I will exchange positions here. William Tell seems to be a very regular occurrence here, so is Sir Lancelot. Let's see what happens if we reorganize a party like this and have them face the leprechauns. We already tried most of these without luck here. We still have all of our gold, which is good. We managed it this time. Let's reorganize the party. Very little of actual value here, but at least we've completed the battle, and hope there aren't many many more of them. Now this is one of these magical areas. Large chunks of bark of an ancient tree appear to be missing. Eat some of the remaining bark. We won't do so right now. I will snapshot the characters before doing that so that we know exactly what it is that this does to us. Yes. And what it does is increase spell points to 200. For every character member, even the members that are not magical casters. So that's potentially useful, although in some cases for us right now, that's actually a deduction. Some of our characters at this point have more than 200, so it's useful for the paladin and the archer, but run away from the leprechaun here. Fighting him serves very little purpose. Or simply not bother with it. There are plenty of these battles with these leprechauns here. And nothing really to be gained by fighting them, so I will simply not do it. Now the shamans are a different story. We can easily beat them. They aren't about to rob us. These are all very lower level enemies that we're fighting here. Here we have yellow message 7. Now these messages are in code and they are spread around the map, both the yellow and green, and we have found some of the green ones already, but not all of them. So part of the exercise tonight is to find as many of these messages as we can. We already have the solution to the green messages. We know how to solve it and decrypt the message. But, we don't have something like that now for the as yet for the yellow one. Now we've ended up in a difficult battle here. We lost the paladin, which is actually fairly rare. And we've lost 3 party members now. So what was a fairly easy map so far has turned into one that is very difficult. So this was a very tough battle. Tempted to run away from the leprechaun again. I will trade, exchange places here between Sir Lancelot and also trade places here between the archer and the cleric, and store that, see if we have better luck with the leprechauns. Yeah, this turned out better. We will finish mapping the squares that we had already mapped, and then we will go back, and we don't want to eat this bark now. We know what it does. This is the battle that we just had, and it's tough. Although perhaps not quite as difficult as the one that we had just previously. It's a question of how many hit points these knights have here. They seem to have more than a few. We end up dead again. Do this again here. This game is sometimes an exercise in frustration, and this is one of those cases. Still okay. I will finish these two squares here and go back and save again. Before
I'm getting laughs.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
attempting
host
this
the show.
again.
Okay.
Hello, Coconut. Welcome to the stream, and thanks for the host. Hope you're doing okay. We are having a fairly relaxing stream after last night's mega battles. We are mostly just mapping some outside areas and finding some additional clues and things to do. We are, however, faced with a difficult battle here. Yeah, you've been working a lot recently. I can imagine that being in the healthcare industry right now is very difficult. Now, let's see here. It occurs to me that this fight that we keep having might be random, because we have not hit it this time around. The leprechauns did not rob us, so search. And more leprechauns. And again, we didn't get robbed, so that's okay. We've now done 2 more squares, and seeing as we are probably about to hit this battle again, I will go back and save and then return. One of the oddities about this game, and probably one of the things that makes it great, is that to save you have to go back to the town and sign into the inn. There is no way of just saving on the outside, so it makes it much more difficult to get ahead in the game. You have to plan your moves in accordance to the fact that you could die at any time and then lose the progress that you've made. So it means that you tend to thread a little bit more carefully than you perhaps otherwise would. Here is this message. We already wrote this message down. They're encrypted with a key that we find at some point. I already found some of the keys, but not all of them. So now we are about halfway done with this little map here. And when we were going down the map, we ended up in a huge battle, which is about to happen again here. There are ghouls. Let's see how we get along here. It certainly did not start well. The topmost monster, the Ooze Warrior, is extremely difficult. We definitely do not want him to land another blow. He will probably kill every last one of us. I will try to restore some of our hit points. We got lucky, and we managed to take him down before he did the same to us. So we survived this one, and since we survived, I think I will go back and save and then continue. Now let's see. This is the halfway point. A mad old man ignores you while ranting about a QB doll. Okay. We are an X3Y13. X7Y13. Now I know where to find some QB dolls, so one thing I could potentially do is run back and get some and see what that does for us. we might do that. We'll stop by the town, save, and then we'll take a quick trip to the castle and see about finding a Cupid doll. As I remember, there were plenty of them, either in Castle Woodhaven or Pinehurst. Probably Woodhaven, not Pinehurst. Let's check there first. I don't remember if I wrote it down. No. We have to fight ourselves into the castle as per normal. These used to be difficult fights, they are not anymore. Okay, this is just treasure. That is not necessarily what we want. We're looking for random items. This is also treasure. This is not where we want to be. This is probably because we robbed the treasure. We have these fun little friends here, the stone golems. Certainly not worth it for the little gold that we managed to steal here to end up in a fight with these guys. They are quite difficult to deal with. finally take them down. Took a while. Oh no, let's go and check whether... Here's the joke of the day. Did you hear about the orc who cut off his left arm and leg? He wanted to be alright. Yeah, I played this game originally on the Mac. So this is the box of the original game that I played. Still have the box and the original floppy disks, although they are 800k Mac floppies, so I have nothing that reads them at this point in time. Can't read them in any sort of a modern floppy drive. You need the original Sony mechanism that was in the Mac. Now, we don't want the treasure. That is not what we want. What we want are some items here. This seems to be all about the treasure, so let's head back to town. Check into the inn and check another castle. This is not the correct one. Might be that it was actually Castle Hillstone that had these random items laying around. Entirely possible. It was way down here. So my father had a Mac SE, and I played this game on his machine. I convinced him that it was okay to let me play computer games on his Mac, and this was basically the only game that I purchased for specifically to play on his machine, because I read the back of the game and it sounded oh so interesting, and spent a lot of time playing this game as a kid. But never did finish it. I might as well do it now. It is really is quite difficult, but it's fun nonetheless. Now, this is the zoo. There are all of these endless encounters here with fairly easy monsters. So this is not a place that has these items. Where were they placed? Searching this place is a bit difficult because you have to have all of these endless encounters, so there's not a moment's peace to search. This is the red room. That is not where we're going. Try teleporting here, 1 square. More guards. And more guards. Obviously not low on funding for the guards here in this castle. There are plenty of them everywhere. There are 40 guards in this room here alone. Let's see, there is nothing else in this room. Check the next room here. This is the throne room here. Let's check the final castle here, Castle Pinehurst, see if that is the correct one. We've tried the other two, and I don't think this is it, either of them. I'll go to town and sell some of the stuff that we've gotten for taking down all of these endless guards here. Backpacks are filled with all sorts of junk. Less than useful, most of it. Sell all of it. We are getting to the point in the game where having the hirelings is becoming fairly expensive. So we need to probably stop at some point resting so much, restore our hit points. Every day with the hirelings is now costing us close to 100,000. So if we don't recuperate the gold by finding an equivalent amount of treasure, we are simply just hemorrhaging money. And at some point we will simply have to leave them behind. Now let's see. Where could these items have been here? Hello, cheers, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I might at some point. Okay, coconut. Go semi lurk. Audio only stream. Now, if it's not here, then where is it? Mr. Cola, welcome to the stream. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. I just realized, I thought last night during our raid of the dungeons beneath Atlantium that we had been robbed, but I just realized that the reason we are hemorrhaging money here is because we can't really afford to keep the hirelings in the crew anymore. Oh man, that is always a terrible feeling when you walk outside and discover that you have a flat. The only thing that is potentially worse is when you come from work, walk to the car and discover that you have a flat. And that is always less than great. Yeah, it's not great if you work in Death Valley, and it's not great even if you don't. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. I had a car that had a leaky tire for a while, and I always thought it was the aluminum rims that were on the car that were leaking, but what I eventually discovered was that there was actually a nail in the tire which had to be removed, and then it finally stopped leaking. I had to go every week or so and put some air in it. And now at the time when I found this room that was full of these useless items, I didn't give it any thought, and now I can't find it again. These items were practically everywhere. Yeah, it can be very small. There was I didn't see the nail in the tire at all. Yeah. They just saw it when they were going to repair the aluminum rims, and they were taking off the tire. They noticed that it was leaking. Let's see here. I will check Castle Woodhaven again. It has to be the one that we checked the first time. I'm almost certain that this is that is the correct castle to search for this. But while we are on these missions where we aren't doing a lot of fighting, I think I will just leave the hirelings so that I don't have to pay them for all of the hours spent doing practically nothing. Yeah, we have to take the kids every morning to daycare, so we drive every morning for quite a bit. Luckily, my wife works very close to the daycare, and we basically had two options. It was either placing the kids close to where we live and traveling quite a bit for work, or placing the kids close to where we work and then taking them with us there in the morning and picking them up when we get back from work. And that turned out to be the easier option. Now, where is this? It's not here. It is Castle Woodhaven. Let's go there. I now remember where it is. There is a note here that I took. It doesn't exactly say about the QB doll, but it does mention the storage room, so I know what it is. Yeah, I remember when we were traveling in Illinois and around the Chicago area, we had a rental car, and probably if we had been in the closer suburbs of Chicago, then we probably would have been able to just take the train. But since we were maybe 40-50 kilometers away, then it was practically impossible to get anywhere without a car. Here's the joke of the day. How can you recognize an orc pirate? He's the one with a patch over both eyes. Well, that's how you recognize an orc pirate. Now, this was the room. Is it not here anymore? We were here before and couldn't really find anything. Wonder if it's simply been taken. Yeah, I remember that that was also the case in when we were in downtown. We stayed for about 10 days in downtown Boston in the States, and it was actually we needed the car 3 times, and it was cheaper to rent the car on a day-by-day basis and have to park it. So the days that we needed the car, we rented the car in the morning and we returned it back to the rental place at night, because it costs more to park the car than it costs to rent it for a day. And it is the same in most big cities in Europe. And but however, in the States, if you are in the suburbs, then you definitely do need a car. But you can't go downtown and park the car anywhere, so perhaps it's perhaps you need to take the car to a train station and then take the train to hmm. It is here somewhere in this castle, and we will find it. Let's see. I'll go 4 squares here. Don't want the treasure. What we want is the cubital. Because we need to give it to that guy. Mounds of stuff clutter the floor, grab an item. This is the place, but is this the place that had the cubital? Yes, it is. So we will take a few of them. Take maybe 6 of them. Two, 4, 6. Okay, and then we'll go back to town. Travel to Millgate again and save our current status. Yeah, Reykjavik is still a city that is very much a car city, and you can still drive pretty much everywhere, and when you drive to work in the morning you see endless rows of cars that have one person in them. It's quite a bit of that still. And where I worked downtown, finding parking isn't easy anymore, so I have to park a bit away, but and work or maybe walk for 5 or 10 minutes, but it's still free, so I don't have to pay for the parking. Now, where is the old man? Here is here. And now he says something entirely different. A mad old man raves, hooray, a cubital, use the pool in the inner limits, and then the circus will be of great benefit. Okay. That's interesting. We know about this pool. We have found this pool before. And when we drank from it, it was acid, and I remember it did a lot of damage. One of the problems that we have right now is that, and an annoying one at that, is that since we have to get rid of the hireling, we now have no one in the party that has the Pathfinder and mountaineering skill that we need. So I'm going to go back here and see how much it is to have just Sir Hiron on the crew, because we really need these skills right now. He's 8160, it is Big Boutte that is now 34,000 something. Okay, I will add Sir Hiron again. 8,000 is reasonable. And reorganize the party here a little bit. I'll have to bring everyone back aboard here in the correct order. Let's see. This is the correct order. Save this order here before leaving. Okay, Mr. Cola, go cook dinner. And thanks for looking, dude. It's appreciated. I need the viewers. Now, this pool that I drank from is in E2, and where was it again? The notes say it was in 1011, and very shortly after drinking from the pool we perished, and that is very likely to actually happen again. This area is very dangerous. We gave up mapping it again just before. See, this battle in any case is dangerous, so if you go here again we will probably have to teleport to exactly the correct location so that we get out of this here. Doesn't seem likely that we will survive this battle here. No, we don't. So I will go manually to the square in 1011 and see if that is correctly noted down in my notes. To go 9 squares forward. Okay, that ends us in a battle here. Potentially not as difficult as the other one. We'll see. Although it does appear to be very difficult. That was difficult, certainly. Tried to revive Sir Hiron, and we survive. Gain a bit of experience while doing so. Now we are in 10, and now we need to go up 7. See if we can do that. It is most likely that it's actually that I wrote this down wrong, that it's 10, 9 there. The little place there in the middle, remember it was surrounded by trees. So, question is, what is the most convenient way to get there? Probably to go. These squares seem to be very much surrounded by very difficult monsters, probably for a reason. I assume it's because they don't want us to visit this pool. Although at the time I was fairly angry because the pool killed every member of the party and we had spent some time trying to get there. So how far do we have to go really to be able to jump there? This is 0 and Y4. Can we go up here? Yes, we can. And forward here. Now we are in 1, 9. So if we jump 9 squares now, then we end up in exactly, no. Need to be 1 forward additionally to that. This is impossible here. Okay. Still have a plan though. So we'll go here, over to E2, walk upwards here until we reach this point here, and then go forward 9 squares. And here we are. Nestled between the tall trees flows the greatest fountain. Drink from its renowned waters. Yes. What just happened? Something entirely different just happened. All of our stats are at 200. But if we rest, it's all gone again. Okay. But the hint also said that after drinking from the fountain, we should go visit the circus. You know where the circus is, we already mapped that, so let's go directly there. Take the teleport back. This route that we've mapped here. Simply use the road here. Travel over here. All the way over here. Circus is this way. Just checking if we looks like the circus was here. Nothing here. Okay, so the circus isn't always here. When is the circus here? Okay, we won't get further for now, but at least we know what this does for us here. This is an interesting tip. We will have to keep an eye out for the circus. It is bound to return, and it probably plays a part in this quest here, for which we don't have an answer. Let's continue mapping the other square. Then we will return to the squares surrounding the circus, and so we can check on it regularly. It might lurking in the shadows. Have a nice lurk. Cheers. I will perhaps see you later if you return. If not, have a nice night, dude. Yeah, I hear sleeping is good. That's not good at all, dude. Yeah, try to get some sleep. I'll see you later. Good night. Here is yellow message number 9. We will write it down. And since these messages are pretty much encrypted, it's fairly important to write them down with all the spaces intact, since they matter when you're puzzling them together again. Although, to make things interesting for us, they are also written in a proportional font, so it's sometimes difficult to see whether there is 1 or 2 spaces. Guess that's just the game's way of making things fun for you. Now we are on the border of the map where we are facing the desert, and things are looking more difficult here. We are fighting these 2 fire dragons here at the top. I will attempt to cure us so that we survive the next round of attacks. We still lost 2 party members. Let's see if we can take them down before losing the rest. Three dead. Okay, we managed to get through, but we lost half of the party while doing so. Let's head back and restore them, which will cost us a bit, but we also found a bit of golden gems, so we will be okay. I see that with only 1 hireling, our gold is slowly starting to hike back up. So, that's good. Mostly done with D3 here. The fact that we are missing a number of green messages would indicate to me that there are more areas around Middlegate where we should have mapped before coming here. This is the a slightly more difficult area than the green area. Now we fell into some sort of hole here and ended up in something called the Nomadic Cavern, which is interesting. Where are we? We've never been here before. And this is not the way out, so let's explore this cavern. Since we fell down it anyway. Here's another hint for us. The Supreme Dragon Lord oversees a realm of destruction in D1 at X10, Y12. Check every wall for a clue here. There are some greedy snitches here. We will take them down. Now we found a Naginata. We found a Warhammer. It does not appear to be very much of value inside this particular cavern here. It's just a bunch of thieves, and actually a fairly endless amount of thieves. We found a pike and a scythe. I would say that this is a fairly early level dungeon that we've stumbled upon here, and this is mostly just a question of going through the motions here. But these are a little bit more dangerous, so we will take them down here, and at least the rest. It has become a habit to rest after every encounter, but now that we are this strong, that is largely unnecessary, and since we have to pay the hirelings on a per day basis, resting this much is probably not a good idea. Well, I'm dropping some of these low value items that we're finding here in these rooms to make space for the more valuable items that we get while fighting the monsters. But I'm also searching for messages, and here is one. Posing as monster attractive targets. Holy Moly and Snick Pick are entertaining monsters at Dawn's Mistbog Cavern. As I remember, we've already rescued them, and if we have not, then this is a clue as to where they are. I don't remember if we've been in this cavern that I mentioned before or not. Now, these monsters are increasingly more difficult, although none of them are particularly difficult. Found a great bow and a short bow, none of which have much value. So we'll drop them. Hastily written by a shaky hand, message reads: Fluxer, Radicon, Hotilor and Capitor are essential to gain the element orb. Yes, this is this is a hint to the final quest in the game. We've not received this hint before. What we do know is that we have 4 items here: the Fluxer, the Totalor, the Capitor, and the Radicon. And we need all of these items to apparently fetch something called the Element Orb, which I believe we need to finish the game. At least this quest is the main quest in the game. So we are slowly approaching the end, although there is still quite a bit to explore. A rumor you heard about a nomad's treasure hoard suddenly pops back into your memory as you spy an overlay large black axe. So we find some 1,000 gold here. And again. And so far this cavern has mostly been about these smaller items here and these hints that we found spread around the dungeon. Here's another hint: the Queen Beetle holds court in E2 at X11 Y6. Okay. Checked every other location here. Let's continue. More encounters here. We found a chainmail and a leather suit. Both of these are of very low value. We will drop them. And then another encounter here. Just going to check that we haven't been robbed here, and no, we have not. There's more treasure here. Another 1,000 gold. And yet more. Okay, so we're about maybe halfway done here with this strange little place. And there is some scale armor here. And some more over here. These items are of very little actual value. We will simply drop them. There's more gold to be found here. And another clue: Mystic Castle Sabran. Holder of secrets lies unknown in the 9th century in C2 at X14 Y8. We knew about the whereabouts of the castle because when you go walking over the square, it tells you that ruins of an ancient castle are strewn around the place. It does not, however, tell you when it was there. So now we know that it's been there since it was there in the 9th century, which means that we have to travel back in time. Now the leprechaun stole quite a bit of our gold here. Annoyingly enough, I will leave it be. Now a giant treadmill was in front of us, and they said that if capable, our speed had been increased. Let's rest and see if we got a speed increase. Yes, it does seem as though every character received a good increase in speed, so that's very valuable to us. Losing the gold is very annoying, but we will live with it for now. I have not at all been careful about my gold in this game. I should have close to 1 million per character if I hadn't been somewhat careless. Fact is that the uses for gold in the game are fairly limited. Once you reach a certain point, you simply don't need any more gold, so you tend to not worry about it too much, but of course you can't afford to run out of gold. And in the first game, at one point there was actually a place where you could trade gold for experience. At that point in game number 1, I had maybe 2 million per character, so I was able to level up maybe 2 levels, which was valuable to me at the time, so it has some value. Although I could have just regained that by grinding, and there are places in the game where you can easily grind gold. Mr. Wizard, top scientist, has been interrupted in his research of the arcane wilderness by a very nasty Lich Lord at X1Y14. As we know this, we already rescued Mr. Wizard. He is the hireling that we rescued earlier in this stream. So that would suggest that this dungeon is in fact a fairly late on dungeon, even though most of the monsters here are easy to take care of. The mighty Serpent King slithers in E3 at X5Y6. Okay, it's good to know. Lots of hints. Now, another one. The Mist Warrior keeps his lair atop Mist Haven at X15, Y11. He keeps at bay all who trespass with a dancing sword. I believe we've found this particular guy before. I think he's the Barbarian class quest, which we haven't completed and don't need to complete since we don't have a Barbarian on as a member of the party. Now we are getting close to being done here. We've mapped most of this cavern here. Another message for us, Mighty Nagasava. And Lord Peabody's servant Sherman, yes, we are certainly looking for him. Were last seen having some problems with Amazons near Natives Cove at X10Y1. Now, do we know where Natives Cove is? The only clue that we have is a group of natives who reside in Natives Cove at X8Y1 oftentimes go into a frenzy. We'll have to find this Nature's Cove because we are looking for Sherman. Because the time machine that we need to access in Lord Peabody's castle is bound to our quest of returning Sherman back to Lord Peabody. We made a promise to him that we would do so, so we will have to do that before being able to finish that particular quest, and gaining access to the time machine is fairly important in order to finish our task of returning things to the way they were in Kron. Now let's see. This is potentially the last parts of this cavern here. We have found a weapon, a broadsword, not particularly valuable. Found another weapon, maul, not particularly valuable either. And a flail. All of these things are important. We will dump them, as well as this glaive here. I will leave the little space that we have in the backpack for more valuable items. Now this is the way out. And we still have this part here to explore. Found another weapon, a broadsword. We will dump it. The torch looks crooked. Adjust it, and that opened the wall. And we have found another weapon, a long dagger. We will drop it. And what is here? We have found a weapon, a mace. Okay. None of these things are of much value to us, so we finished mapping this. We can return to the Nomadic Rift. And now it says you detect a rough hewn cave opening, so we are in fact in E3X5Y5. So we are in a much different location than we were when we were mapping this. We've never been here before. But I think it's safe to say that we could do with a town portal spell right now, go directly back to Millgate and sell some of this stuff, and we have seem to have found a very valuable item here, which I will take a look at in a bit. Now, we found something here called the Disruptor +7. And I will have the blacksmith identify it for us. It is equipable. It does give us protection from energy +22. And it casts a disrupt spell. And it has 200 charges. So it is in fact a magical item. It, however, is not usable as a weapon, except in the case where you need to be able to cast this spell. So I will I will transport it to the archer and have him hold on to it. It's potentially very useful since the disruptor spell is very powerful, and we can use it when we are out of spell points until at some point, and during certain parts of the game we can also use it. But we don't currently really have a free slot with any of the characters to use it, because we're using the slots for defensive purposes and to equip weapons as well. Go back and finish mapping these squares here. We were here basically when we fell down here. We're out of spell points. We ran into these face spirits here, which will probably kill every one of us. Yes, they will. Go back. There's a reason we save. Every square on the outside is potentially a fight that you can't get out of, so I tend to save regularly when I'm mapping the outside. This is a much different fight here. Most of the fights are at least partially random, so even if you go to the same location again, you won't find exactly the same fight, but the general rule is that if there is an encounter in general in the spot, then there will always be an encounter there when you come back. This was a rift hole, so we've been here before. How to find our way out again? We need to go 8 squares forward. So we fell down the rift hole again. But we are back. And I will jump over these 2 here. Go 3 squares forward. Into the desert here. Back down here. Again, go 3 squares forward. And then run down the rest here. Here is an encounter with multiple dangerous enemies. Similar to the one that we had a slightly earlier stage in the game. But we find a lot of gold and gems, so we won't say no to that. We've lost a bit. So we'll take 1 more square. Almost done here with T3. This is yellow message 3, I will write that down as well. Another rift hole here, and where are we now? We are back in the Nomadic Cavern. Same joke, different day. So I will go 2 squares forward here again. Oh, there are obviously multiple rift holes there in D3 that take us back to this location here. And this one was here, so it's happens to be in both X13Y7 and X12Y7. They are both rift holes. Just do the same thing. I will jump over it. I can't do cast teleport spell here. Finish mapping the desert part of the area. Go back down. Jump over this rift hole again. Hoping there isn't another one on the square next to it, which there might well be. An encounter here with some of our fine fiery friends. We got robbed of our gems, which is a very bad thing. We might die anyway. Let's cast protection on the elements before they get going here. We have no gems here. Stole all of our gems. These some of them. I'm curious to see whether we find them again. If we don't, I will no, I will restore. We lost thousands of gems. We need the gems to be able to cast spells, so that is a very bad idea. We don't want that particular encounter, so this is one of those times where we lose the progress that we've made, although it wasn't a huge amount of progress. The next square was one of these encounters, and I'm not all that interested in having it again, but we will have to finish up this fight here. Now, since the encounter is random, you can be either lucky or very unlucky. This one is slightly easier than the one that we had just had, but it's not easy per se. But we finish it anyway, so we'll get going with mapping the rest here. Here again is this battle that we had previously. Contains thousands of these lots and lots of mad peasants. I'm going to cast the power shield here to protect us a little bit from these peasants. They will almost all of them will explode and cause untold amounts of damage, and then with the power shield we might escape alive. And we do careful not to walk back into the rift here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish mapping the square with a road here, and we have to step into this rift hole once, and we won't have to do it again. The square will be mapped after that. Let's see. Okay, we will return to town now and save the progress that we made before returning. We know there's a difficult battle there on the ground just next to the end of the map, which we will have to complete. I'm going to take a look here at the training status as well, see if we are in need of training. No, not at this point. Only 2 small strips remaining here. So, try to get them completed. Here is the encounter that killed us last time. This one is easier. Oh, it's not easy per se. It's still difficult, just not as difficult as the last one was. We still have one of these endless nights here at the top. They are as it says, they are endless. They have thousands of hit points, so they will take a long time to take down. We will use every spell that we have to take down the rest, so we can focus on taking down the endless night. I'll check how much he still has left. He has 43 left, so we've taken about 1,000 away, and now he's dead. One square remains here of D3. We will attempt to finish that off as well. And we've completed D3, which was decently difficult at times. And we will go back to Middlegate. Sell and save, and return to the squares here closer to Middlegate and finish them off. We should at this point have be able to find the rest of the green message. Let's see. Now we've completed all of C2. We have completed all of C3 as well. We have not completed B3. I think it's about time that we do so. We will need the walk on water spell here to explore the water part of the map. This is the place of the druids. The etchings here on the stone, they spell druids. There's a similar etching on the other side here. And we can take them down fairly easily. Went a little bit too far here. Let's go back up here. Druids are dangerous to us at this point. All they really do is cast a silencing spell, which just means that we are unable to cast magic until we rest and recuperate. And while we're just fighting the druids, I won't rest. We can simply finish off these fights here without resting. They don't really take any hit points away, and it's not worth it spending valuable gems or rest trying to recuperate while we are having these fights here. Now here's another green message. We already found green message 1 and 3, and this happens to be green message 2. And it's F-E, 2 spaces I-U-T-E, T-J. I don't know how many of them there are yet. We found 1, 2, and 3 at least. Here is number 4. And this is why we have to, annoyingly enough, walk these squares in both directions, because this one we did not find going downward, but we find it going upward, so it matters if you're facing north or south. We found at least 4 of them. Let's see if we find any more here. This particular area is not taking long to map at all. It's largely covered by water, and no encounters in the water here. Oh, this is easy going so far. The only thing I'm being careful of is not accidentally walking off the map, because that will respawn all of the druids. Now here we are in for a fight with some 16 trolls. fighting here in the middle of this little island. A knight proclaims none shall pass attack. Yes, this is a jouster of some sort. Let's take care of him quickly. We can. I don't know what he's protecting, but obviously something. Seems to have a decent amount of hit points at least. We've hit him thousands of points already. He goes down, we get 30,000 experience. And we find an S scale mail plus 10, a valuable piece of armor if we can use it. And we can, it raises our armor class up to 44 from the previous 40, so that is pretty great. And I'll try to create one of these items down here so we have a little bit of space. Might be able to fit this splint mail here with the other knight, and I can. This is a better armor per se, but this one has better magical properties. We'll keep it around. It's also entirely possible that if we have this fight again, we will win a similar item. So what is now tempting is to go back, have this fight again, see if we can win another. This one is more difficult here. You have these iron wizards we did not have previously. Let's use the sandstorm here on these wizards. Was unfortunate, to say the least. Was extremely unfortunate. Let's see. One of them still remains, and he goes down. And we recover, but with a dead party member here, which we will recuperate now. Oh, it's 30 now, okay. And we will have this fight with the knight again here. He takes a lot of damage, but eventually does go down, as we saw earlier. And if we get a similar reward in terms of armor, then it's certainly worth it. Rest here before searching for the treasure. Oh, this wasn't as good a return as we got earlier. Now we just received a hero medal, which is nearly as powerful, so we obviously got lucky. I will continue mapping here. Now we've been in the center of this map before. It is the location of the Isle of the Ancients, which contains the strongholds for the good and evil wizards. And we already solved that particular quest, which was the class quest for the sorcerer, which we've then completed, and along with it all the class quests for the characters in the party. And as it was for the large parts of this map, this is mostly uneventful here. However, here is a simple encounter. We will take care of these little friends of ours here. Now, A3 we have not visited, but B2 we have fully mapped. We have not traversed into the A area yet, and I seriously doubt that we need to do so. Going to go to Middle Gate. I'm going to sell some of this loot here that we found. Sell this as splint mail here. We won't be using it. It's a low value items here. I'm going to check what the hireling has. He also has some items that we need to sell. And we have 4 of these green messages, and I have the interleave for them. I will put them all here in order. And see. Now the interleave says one letter after another, 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay, that would definitely suggest that there are only 4 of these messages. I will and it would also suggest that that the way to solve them is by placing the letters one after another. So going to change the capture here a little bit. Bear with me. So here is the WordPad document, and the green leaf interleaf is here, and it says one letter after another, 2, 1, 3, 4. So we will take the letters as we go here. It would then be F, O, R, 4, and then again 1. There's nothing here but a space. Same for 3 and 4. Okay, we're on the third letter now, and we're back to 2, so that's an E. Right, the base. Okay, so F, O, R, and the base as well here, crossed out. There is again 2, that is the space crossed out, and 1, basically another space. So it's F-O-R, 2 spaces. It's probably not 2 spaces, it's very hard in the game to actually see whether there is 1 or 2 spaces between or before something. So that will probably be the most difficult part in deciphering all of this. But after that would come, it's very likely that these are not 2 spaces and it's simply an A for a E. This can't be right. Now this is the problem with these messages. It's when you decipher them like this, they need to be very well written down. Now go back here to B2. This one was an X14, Y5. Luckily for us, they aren't rolled about in many places. Oh, this one is definitely correct. That is definitely a C. It's hard to decipher here. Think of just writing these letters here in this order and seeing, not worrying about the spaces and trying to figure out the spaces after we've done with this. It's tough to read through. So if we just type them as they are here without the spaces, then you'll probably figure this out. So it's F-O-R. The spaces here in this particular message are correct in any case. Now, where was the other green message here? It was probably here somewhere. Four. We just read them like this. It's E-A-C-H. And then there's definitely a space in all of them. I. N. This is 1, 3, 4. F. O. R. E-A-C-H. I-N-T-I. E-E-D-U-A-L for each individual. Okay, that makes sense. However, it's very easy to lose touch here. This is very difficult to read. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move them together like this and try to read them through, because it's extremely difficult to read here. See, make them all bold and remove the strike through. Four. each individual to for each individual to become true. Okay, so for each individual to become true, toughest part right now is to see where we were in the message. E-R-U-E individual to become true. Incredibly hard to read. There must be a letter missing here somewhere. This word is probably visit here, but there's a letter missing. Oh, it's not in the correct place. Okay. We'll have to again mark the characters that we've read already. So I will unbold all of this. I'll see if I can make it a different color. We've read this. Read these three here. 4. Each. This is easier. There are not 2 spaces here, there's only 1 space. in the this is not a U, it's a V as I found earlier. V D. This is a U. For each individual two, we're back in business here. On the same spot I was before. This is a space. B. Com. And here we are again. I found where we were. T. R. U. E. True. And there's a comma, okay. There's a space, okay. After the comma. S. E. Is it both of these? Is it S-E-E? Is it C? Each of individual to become true. C. And there's a space. We would continue here. C. C what exactly? No, it's not two E's from here. It's just this one E here. Not this E. It's this E that we're supposed to take. Okay, C. E. H. E. The. C. The. J. U. R. Y. Jury. See the jury. Now there's a W. H. Y. C. H. Which. See the jury which R. E. S. I. D. E. S. Resides. For each individual to become true, see the jury which resides A. Oops. A. T. At. Big. M. O. U N T mount big F. Okay, I know what this message says. Well, pretty much. This is FAR. This is Fairview at Mount Fairview. Right. V I E W. Yeah. Yeah, okay. We know what this message says. This is the Duros quest, the class quest that we've already completed, which we are part of this green message here. So we don't need to continue reading this. I have no particular interest in solving the rest of this text here. Here we go. Okay, we solved this green message here. That leaves the I'm not looking forward to the yellow one. There are, I don't know how many, 7, at least potentially 8 messages in the yellow message. So that's not going to be very easy to solve. This was difficult enough. Oh, this is A2 here. We finished up B2. I think I will head over to Middlegate again. Save our positioning here. I don't remember if I already did that. I might have done it earlier. We spent a while on this puzzle here. So that leaves, we've done C2. And we've done C3 here, and we've done B3. It's tempting to finish A3 now. See what's there. Got swept away by a tidal wave. Again. Okay, they're not random, so... They're not random at all, so I will to be careful around these spots where we get swept away. Here is an interesting battle with all of these carnage spirits here. Sitting here in the woods, doing practically nothing. A whirlpool sucks the party under. We are somewhere very different. I have no idea where we are. We are in A4, okay. Travel downwards here. Squirming prisoners are staked to the ground. Free them. Yes. We end up in a battle with these knights here. That's interesting. I'll cast the power shield spell here. I think that's a good idea. We can then beat down these knights. And okay. We made it back to the square where we just were. Here's another of these tidal waves. It's a bit tricky to map this when we keep getting sent off. Now we need to jump over this square here. Here is a little square where there are more prisoners. We will fight these knights here. There are plenty of these little islands here. Now we sort of have to remember where these were, and we're back in business here. No. Okay. Here are the ghosts again, which are untouchable except for using magic. Rotting corpses line the bay. Not really any other interaction to be had here. Here was a spot where we are swept away, so I will teleport over it. We're mostly done with this square anyway. Rotting corpses line the bay. Here is a massive battle with some undead characters. I think they're basically all of them are undead here. I might cast the holy word spell here. Not enough spell points. That is less than interesting. So we're not going to be able to fight them without having any spell points. That's pretty much out of the question here. We'll simply have to try to run away. And we managed to do so. Let's see. Move the first condition as soon as we can recover here. One of the monsters stripped all of our magical casting abilities. That made them pretty much impossible to fight. It's at least a ghost. It's very difficult to fight without being able to cast spells. He's pretty much invincible without that. I'll try this one again. We've been trained again, so this is basically a battle that we can't win. We need to rest. And I will have to jump past this particular square here. The only way to win this particular battle would be to bring an item that could cast a holy word spell. That's pretty much the only way I can possibly see to beat this. Here is the White Knight again with some more prisoners. And again, you will finish all of these just in case. I think this one is actually in a different map, but I will finish it anyway. Yes, it is. We're done with this, and take a look at this square here. No tidal waves here, and no real other problems. More prisoners. You stare at the bizarre people in front of you. Fumbler is covered with lucky symbols and you cannot tell if Flailer is a guy or a girl. Nevertheless, they can be found at the carriage inn for hire. Okay, we found 2 hirelings. And then we end up in a fight here with these, with this cloud dragon and these wyverns. We can take them down fairly easily. See. We find some decent amount of gold and gems as well. Some ghouls here. An easy fight. Nestled in the open-air pavilion rests the gourmet. He wishes to speak with a true Epicurean. Will you talk with him? Who will talk with gourmet? Okay. Interesting. This is obviously someone that needs to speak with a character with a certain skill. Okay. I can't see anywhere in the document that there is any particular skill that we need. I'm going to what was his name again? See if the gourmet. We have no hint as to how to solve this puzzle here. I will write down this location. We will return to this at a later point. So obviously something that we need to do to be able to gain this. something that we need to finish first. Now, these battles seem to be mostly random here. There is little to be gained actually by fighting them, but we'll do it anyway. Accidentally walked off the map, so this square is again an encounter. Skip it this time around. Another fight with these dragons and wyverns here. Usually good goal to be had by completing these fights. Yes. A whirlpool again. Not walk into the whirlpool this time around. I'm gonna jump over it. It's actually the first undersea battle that we've seen. And these are monsters that I've never seen before. I have no idea what they do, but they've done a considerable amount of damage to us. In the hull of this old ship you will find sunken treasure if you search, which we do. We ended up with a lot of our party members very much dead, including a cleric and a robber, so we lost our ability to map here, which is more than slightly inconvenient, and also our ability to head back into town. Try to take a little stroll here. Go to middle gate and restore our condition here, which we luckily succeeded in doing. We had met quite a bit. Sell some of this junk here. Probably Sir Hiron also has lots of items here. He does. Now this dark trident is interesting. I'm going to take a quick gander as to what that actually does. It's a weapon and it also gives you additional armor class. That is interesting. And we can actually use it. Also very interesting. Sorry about this, I have a bit of a cold. Okay, I will sell the halberd here, +10. This gained us 5 armor class for the frontmost party member. It's very valuable to us. Makes it worth it to have this trip alone. I'm going to go finish mapping that square. You're almost done. Here's the ghost again. And the ghouls. The troll. A single troll. Now, I'm not very interested in going past this square again. I will jump over it. Which I actually failed to do because I moved 1 instead of moving 2 as I was going to do. And again, this was not in the same spot. We need to go 3 from here. Okay. What? Why are a party members dead again? Why did they die? Weird. I didn't even notice what killed us. Did we get killed simply by running into the monsters? It's weird if that is the case. We will read more carefully now to get this done with here. Obviously the tidal wave does some damage to us, but didn't really do this much damage. Now I'm going to manage to do this successfully here, and we did. Again, a tidal wave. This fight here. We got some good armor this time around. We got an S plate mail +7 that we can actually use and sell this plate armor. This is much more powerful armor because it even if it gives us the same armor class, it gives us significantly added protection from energy spells. So every trip that we make, we find something that makes this worthwhile. That is often the case in this game. It seems to be very unfair and sometimes annoying, but it always gives you a little bit back so you don't get too frustrated with it. Although I must admit, I am sometimes on the verge of just giving up on this project, but then it drags me back in. Now, mostly done here. There is one square left. We would be done with this long ago if we didn't continually keep getting sucked away by these whirlpools. Okay, I think we're done mapping this. We finished A3, and there's at the outer edges, and there's nowhere else to go after that except A4, which is the final ocean-based level. So we've done A3, we've done A2, and we still have A1 to go. We will go back to town now. I will use the route of food, and we'll use the town portal spell to get us back to Middlegate or Atlantium, and we are here at the city gates. I'll go here to the pub and I wonder what this is meant by our good friend there, the gourmet. We have all of these options to eat these meals at the tavern, and there's a tavern in every town. We won't lose much. We'll it's simple to solve. We'll just simply eat meal. Prior attack got diseased here. We can simply cure that, and then we'll go over to and we'll go over to Zanzibar and find the tavern here. I forget where it is. We haven't really spent a lot of time in this town, and this is the only town in the game where I've constantly been lost. There's something about this town makes me lost. Now we'll have the phantom pudding. It's very low calorie. It's probably good for us. I will have every member eat the most expensive meal. I'll try out this theory here. This won't take very long. There are only 5 towns, so it's not completely. And even if this is all a waste of time, which it probably is, and this is a very low amount of money we're actually spending on it, doesn't really matter. Specialties, we'll have the roast leg of wyvern here. That sounds good. Then we'll travel over to Volcania and not even entirely sure where the tavern is in this town. I wonder if it could be down here. Yeah, here it is. Here's the bar specialties. I have the Dream of Cobalt soup here. And we're done eating here. We'll go over to Atlantium and find the tavern here. I wonder where it is. Here's the blacksmith. Here's the tavern. Have the devil's food brownie. Sounds like a nice dessert after everything we've eaten so far. Now we've definitely eaten a lot of expensive meals. Let's go visit this gourmet guy and see if he wants to talk to us now. It's possible. If that's not it, I don't know what it is, because there is no skill in the game that revolves around this that I know of. Isn't to say that it doesn't exist, just that I don't know what it is. Let's see. He was in X7. No, Y7, I think, in A3. I think that was the location that we wrote down here. Gourmet. Yes. So he's 8 squares down here. I will cure the disease, nomadic the spell. We seem to we seem to have gotten food poisoning from eating all of this rich food here. Yeah. Okay. I did nothing. Okay, that's not it. It was worth a shot. I have no idea what to do with this guy. Still, I'm hoping we can find some tip later on in the game. We found surprisingly few places where there really is any sort of cavern activity here outside of in these maps that we've mapped so far. So there haven't really been surprisingly few additional caverns. I thought there would be more. So my plan now is to map this area around Zanzibar, which is E4, and once we're done with that, I'm going to be done with the stream for tonight. Start here in the corner and make our way down. Now here on the outer edges of the map, this is E4 15-0. It states a hole full of quaking rocks, soil and sand defines a passage to the time of Earth. Enter. So this is the Earth elemental plane. And we are not ready for that yet. And we know that it's there. So this is how we enter it. This is on the After traveling through the elemental plane of Earth, an understanding of the spell Earth Encasement has been achieved by those in the party with the proper ability. Okay, so we now have access to Earth Encasement. That is useful. These are the Earth Elementals. They are pretty much lethal. Earth Encasement didn't work on them, which you suppose is pretty much what you would think. The Earth Encasement would then work on other elemental. Here's another one. We somehow survived. This is way too difficult for us, really. So we are lucky that they run away. An earthquake shakes us. Rest. And hope that we don't run into any of these encounters again and are able to finish mapping this square here. There's nothing much of interest here, really. It's a bunch of rocks and the desert. If you run into more of the Earth Elementals, they run away again. It's funny how the second town in the game is located in this incredibly dangerous area here. Now, we died this time around, so that was less than great. So we had done a pretty significant amount of mapping. Wound up dead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna cast the Protection from Elements spell here. That should give us some minimum protection against these beasts if we run into them. We can cast that spell at any time, and we know for a fact that we can use the disintegration spell to take them down. This reduced the damage considerably. I'll cast the protection spell again here. Just need to run through these to map them. There is nothing more to be seen here, really. It's funny how they take turns either running away or causing massive damage to us. Rest here, and we will cast a protection spell again. Our cleric is now at a level where we gain up to 42 in gain some 42 points towards protection from the elements, which is quite a bit. Basically the damage caused by these monsters is halved to what it should be if we did not have the protection in place. Oh, that's interesting. Now, we did not go... This one did not go quite as well as the other ones. We have some dead party members which we will need to take back to have the knight open the chest here. We will have to run back to town to have them heal. We'll have to walk around here because annoyingly we are much stuck here. We'll probably just use the town porter spell and go directly to Zanzibar. Where are we now? We are here. We need to go to the temple. Try to restore our condition here. We are good now. Sign into the inn. Save the game. Visit the, not the tavern, but rather the blacksmith. He's over on this side here. Sell some of the stuff here that we found. Save again while we're at it. Leave down again to finish mapping. Don't really need this fight here again. We will simply skip it. I will cast the protection spell though. Will help us in case we run into some issues. Here they are again. Try to prevent the party from dying here. And we do. Cast the protection spell again. Among the ruins of a deserted outpost, a tablet is found. Those amongst your party with clerical ability comprehend the writings to be the spell Earth Transmutation. Okay. Where is that spell? The encasement is here. Earth Transmutation is here. Level 6 spell. We take a little nap and wake up, and we are in the middle of a massive battle here. Highly annoying. I'll try to take these guys on here. You will need to remove this paralysis condition. We survive. We need to get attacked again. Finally, we are able to rest. I'll cast the protection from element spell here again, since you lose it every time you rest. This is yellow message number 5. Must say, I'm not looking forward to solving the yellow message. We have 3, 7, and 9 now, and this is 5. We're about halfway done with this square here. This is a very tedious work, this mapping work, but it needs to be done anyway. And we lost a party member. Both of them survived this time around. We lost 2, 3 party members now. Somehow we end up in a battle here while resting after this difficult fight, and we managed to run away with one party member. The rest are dead. So we will have to restore our condition here, annoyingly enough, and continue after we do so. We are barely breaking even here in terms of gold. Just about receiving enough gold to pay for these restorements. We are gaining some experience, so it's not totally bleak. I'm not going to go into that square again. I'm not particularly interested. I'm hoping we are going to get out of this desert country here soon. This is an interesting fight here. Found something called an Invisio cloak. I'm going to it's basically the spell 3/3, okay. It's not terribly valuable. Here is yellow message number 2. We don't have a key for solving these messages yet, so it will be a while. It would have been mighty nice that the game had these in a fixed size font. It's as I mentioned before, it's very difficult to figure out sometimes whether there is 1 or 2 spaces. A lot of these coffin creeps here, and quite a few of the paladins as well. I'll fight them. Nothing really gained by doing so. This fountain is famed for its healing water. Drink. Yes. What does this fountain do? Probably just restores our health. Was it? Jot down this location. X1, X. Just so we have it marked on the map. Okay, we're done with this particular square here. It is amazing how often I get lost in this town here. Sell this loot here. Sign into the Zanzibar Inn here, and I think that's where we'll leave the game for the night. So, not really a lot that happened on this stream. We made some progress. It's mostly been mapping, and probably going to be similar tomorrow when I continue mapping. There's still quite a bit of mapping to do, actually. We still need to map around the areas around all of the towns, and once we finish the mapping and once we found all the dungeons and completed the rest of the dungeons that are out in the map, we will move on. At some point we will need to find the key to solve the yellow message, and we will get to that point. Hopefully that will provide us with a hint. We still have to solve the puzzle regarding the circus. We already know that the Cupid doll is involved, but we don't know exactly how, in which order we need to do this, or when the circus is there. So we will have to check again now. It's been a few days whether the circus is back, and whether the circus is only there during certain hours or certain days of the year. We will need to figure that out as well. So I'm going to take a quick gander here whether there is someone that we want to raid. Let's see here. Ash is streaming. So what is Ash playing? Ash is playing some console game. He's one of the most optimistic and fun people I know. She's a very fun retro streamer, and she's very friendly to her community. Let's head over to her channel. I'll set up the raid, and thank you guys for coming and listening to me. I hope to see you again soon. Have a nice night.